I trained with your dad on the mat. we trained jiu-jitsu.
We were both fucking awkward.
We trained together. And
what are we doing?
Was, you know,
Joe Camacho, and we were
peace, man,
we
Joe.
were rest in peace, man. Love you,
dude.
Joe. And been the stars. We love you, brother.
If you can referee in Tijuana, you can
make it
referee
anywhere,
bro. So
I want to talk to you more about your first UFC.
Nate Diaz is one of those fighters, dude. They're like you're gonna have to kill those guys to get them out of there. We're all blessed on this journey in life, bro. And that's really what it is, man. That goes with your passions and with your goals. If you want something, you do it. You never fail, bro. Those are lessons you learn.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for hanging out at another Willie Barcena's drop-in. Okay, where was I last week, bro? Oh, I was at the Ha-Ha.
You were at the Ha-Ha.
In North Hollywood, man. We had 2 sold-out shows. Man, you guys, to all my fans, thank you for being patient. And as you know, Fabian, I read all my jokes off of index cards because they're all brand new jokes.
Yeah,
so,
the first crowd, the early show was like
rough.
No, they were patient. They were really patient.
Yeah,
and the second crowd was sauced up. So
they were drunk. They were drunk. So they were like, "Tell a joke." Yeah. Like fucking wait, bro. Let me read this card. But no, thank you guys. I love you. You guys came strong, and I appreciate you. Fabian, we got the usual suspects here. We got Fabian.
Thank you guys for all the new subscribers from the last video. And if you're new to this video, please subscribe. Appreciate the support.
Okay, and then obviously we got Robert Zapata.
What's up, everybody?
You did good, bro.
Yeah, the first show I did was I was pacing myself.
It was a little quiet.
It was quiet. I was pacing myself, and the second show I had to I said no, that's not happening.
Okay,
I went with my energy. Bing, 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 bing. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you something, bro?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, and this comes with a lot of love. Sometimes when the comedian is not doing well, what happens is he starts picking up the energy of the audience. So now they're both on this monotone wavelength. So it's up to you as an entertainer to go, fuck you, I'm up here. Come meet me up here.
Right.
And I think sometimes you let that happen, man.
Yeah.
So just keep that, man. It's just, it's an art, bro.
It happens.
It's an art. Hey, man. But hey, enough of that. I'm excited about our guest today. Well-known UFC MMA, because you don't only just do UFC. You do other what are they called, promotions, right? That do MMA.
Other organizations.
Organizations, and we got Mike Beltran in the house.
Thank you for having me, Willie. For sure.
Thank you, bro. It's funny. It's like the cats that come on here. Now, some of them are well-known people, as yourself, man. But the funny thing about this world, bro, is that you and I, we've known each other forever. And when I was first coming up as a stand-up, and you were first coming up in the MMA world, we're kind of like together.
That's actually before MMA.
Is before? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I remember the first time I met you, bro, was with Joe Camacho, and we were
peace, man,
rest in peace, man. Love you, Joe. And up in the stars, we love you, brother.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Joe Camacho, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter. He is trained by Aloysio Silva and Charlie Valencia. These fighters, Camacho delivering a good right.
Leaping left hook, but Prado came over the top. And there's some good uppercuts.
Oh, Prado's out. He's done. He is done.
He dropped him with those hands, just like I said. He can knock you out. And he did it right here tonight.
Big influence on my life, bro.
Same. Dude, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You connected the dots here, man, for sure.
Yeah, he changed me in some ways, I'll tell you. And probably one of your favorite coaches from MMA and
for
Muay
sure.
Thai and baseball and all that, right?
No, he coached me in my first, or he was in my corner for my first MMA fight. I was 10 years old. 10 years old, and it was at a fair in Maywood.
Of course it was.
And it was like we did no headgear. It was crazy, but was it just no? Yeah, it was just body shots, right? Just
Body shots.
Yeah,
Body shots, but takedowns and you could do submissions.
Yeah, that was cool.
And you
There
could
was
do
like-
kicks.
there was
You
like-
could do kicks.
there was
You
like-
could kick to the head though.
Yeah,
You could kick to the
I
head.
remember because he tried to
Yeah.
head kick me and I took him down.
Yeah.
And I ground and pounded him. But yeah, Joe Camacho, who was
He was his corner guy. Yeah. So no, Joe. For those of you who aren't in the MMA world, Joe Camacho, man, was very very special human, very special soul. He's what I like to call a person with a spirit, man. Because I know that we think we're all humans here, but there's some animals that walk among us, and that's why we have so much conflict. I think in this world. There's so many people without.
He was the first black belt in East LA.
Was he? Yeah. No way. Like very, very first.
First black belt.
In jiu-jitsu or
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. Brazilian
Wow,
jiu-jitsu.
bro. Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Camacho was ahead of the curve, man.
way ahead, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of those dads that would yell, Mike, like, come on, fucking try harder. And he used to coach the boys like twice a week, once a week. And then I was at his gym. I was one of the gyms I was working out of because he would teach out of certain gyms till he got his own, right?
Yeah, downtown LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he was at I forget what gym we were at. Where he was
Pasadena.
Pasadena.
might have been Pasadena, and I was yelling at him and Willie, at both my boys. And when we were done, Joe was calm. Joe waited till the boys went and changed, but he called me over. He goes, "Hey Willie, if you yell at the boys again like that," he goes, "I'm not gonna coach him." Just told him like straight up, bro. He goes, "I'm not gonna coach your boys."
like that?
Yeah. He goes, that's not the way to teach, man. He goes, when they're here, I'm coaching them, not you.
For sure.
Like checked me, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Sometimes we need that.
yeah, I did need that because I was an overbearing dad.
No, my dad was fucking nuts. I don't know if were you ever in the gym with us when we trained when we were kids?
Yeah, a new breed.
Yeah,
where I'm
okay.
still at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you saw.
And you guys were little ones in there.
Yep.
Joe brought you guys there.
Yeah. So anyway, man, Joe was just a badass. Listen, man, congratulations, first of all, bro, on your black belt. See, a lot of people from the MMA world, they think that getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu is like the way you get it in other forms of martial arts. Yeah, karate, right? And no disrespect to them, because there's some really badass karate guys, taekwondo guys that can, kick some ass. But in jiu-jitsu, you don't get it like, okay, to stay here for us 3 months, and then 3 months we'll give you a stripe, 6 months we'll give you your belt, 6 months we'll give you another. It's just you have to hang in and basically get tortured, man. I now that I'm not in it at all. I quit at blue belt, bro. A lot of people quit at blue belt. He quit at blue belt.
Yeah.
Why is it so many people? Isn't it weird, man? That a lot of people quit at blue belt.
It's not uncommon.
Why do you think that is?
Life.
It's the ego.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors, right?
Well, give me some.
Well, a lot of factors is that some people, it's discipline. You got to show up every day. You got to show up, to class, several times a week to get better and train, and then to keep up that consistent discipline is difficult, and it's most people that start out doing BJJ never get past blue belt. Yeah. And then once they get to purple belt, the likelihood of them breaking past that and moving forward is high. It's a lot greater. And then obviously you're brown, you're already there. Then you go to black. But those steps are different journeys for a lot of people, and it's a journey completely doing BJJ. Everyone has their own journey, and I had my journey, and there's some people that their journeys are just, they're just phenoms. And a lot of them have wrestling backgrounds now, and it just picks up a lot easier for them. But everyone has an individual journey, and I wouldn't change anything of my journey. And it made me better. It made me, I can't live without it.
But what? Okay, I went to a gym the other day. My old ass. I sat there at this jiu-jitsu school. I just sat in the back, bro. And I was just looking at. They were rolling, right, and I was just having flashbacks of when I used to do it. I used to go, "Oh my god, that's fucking grind." And then I was talking to you, like, "Bro, how do you do it, man?" Because there's something nobody talks about. Everybody talks about how beautiful jiu-jitsu is. Everybody talks about how awesome the sport is, which it is a great sport, bro. Gi, no gi, whatever. It's a great sport. And it's a great conditioning. But you get hurt, bro. You get injured in jiu-jitsu. And that's something people do not talk about, man. And how do you deal as you're getting older, bro? How do you deal with the injuries? Like, are you injured now? You are, bro. You know, typical fighters. Nah, I'm good. After the fights, they say, "Well, I was fighting with a broken foot. My elbow was cracked."
I mean, bro, like, look, in any sport, you're gonna have injuries,
Right.
bro. I played golf, and my back hurt for 3 months because it's an orthodox movement. It's something that's it's not natural.
For you, it's not natural.
Well, because I never did it,
Right.
and that was Emilio Rivera's golf tournament.
Oh, okay,
Dude, my
Emilio's a fucking he's a machine, right? He's a badass.
So, I mean, Irby and all those dudes, Michael Irby, they're all studs, man.
Yeah.
They all play and they're good. Me, I was out there and I had a couple tequila shots. I was like, oh man, I could hit it, and then I messed up my back, right? But I just strained it, but it was because I never did it. So how jiu-jitsu is like any other sport, bro. In baseball, you're going to get hurt. And if you're a pitcher, depending on what position you play, football, obviously there's injuries.
Right.
Here, you're going to have injuries. And if you think you're going to go into the sport or any sport not expecting to get injuries, then you're delusional.
Yeah.
But for jiu-jitsu, what I do is, because I've had injuries and I had a major surgery when I got sick with my stomach, and I had a bunch of the whole ordeal to deal with that, and to overcome. And for what I do, I just flow roll now.
Flow roll.
I flow roll, man.
What about when they try to get ankle locks, bro?
So, what is flow roll, man? It's like it's kind of like 50% rolling around.
Yeah, it's like 50%, or you're just working. You put yourself in bad situations,
right?
And then you work yourself out of it, and you could pick up the pace a lot more. You catch and release. I catch you, you catch me. I'm in a bad position. I get out of it, and you're consistently flowing for a round.
Yeah.
And for me, I learn more that way, and it opens my it opens my mind to a lot of different things and positions that I put myself in. But at the same time, the most important part is having really good training partners.
Well, I was gonna tell you, bro. The one thing, I mean, so many pros, but there's some cons, right? In jiu-jitsu, I always and I went to like 3 gyms, bro. There's always that 1 or 2 guys that are fucking bullies, and they crank when they're not supposed to crank a submission, and then after they crank you or they tap you, they're not even like nice about it. They walk away like there's dicks, bro.
Yeah, they're
in
dicks.
jiu-jitsu. I fucking hate those guys, man.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that
mamones, güey.
So mamones,
Son
bro.
mamones.
I fucking and everybody knows their dicks, and you look at the instructor like, get rid of this motherfucker. But
And there's nothing you can do about it because he just fucked you up.
yeah, no.
Oh, by that time you're already hurt.
Right.
Yeah, you're already hurt. Bro, there's a mamón and a baboso and a pendejo in every fucking gym, bro.
Oh, bro. And listen, I've always asked myself, I know for a fact, because most, not all, but most instructors are very level-headed, very grounded. They have this like almost like spiritualness about them, right? Good instructors, because then they're not out there teaching like to kill. They're
Like,
just
like Cobra Kai.
Yeah, like Cobra Kai. They're good. They know the asshole students, bro. And I truly believe like the reason they don't kick them out is because they leave them in the class as to show you that's real life. Everybody in this world isn't nice. So I think that's the psychology behind not getting rid of these dicks, and also they pay their dues on time.
Well, no, I mean, you know what? I can just speak about my gym where I'm at.
Don't tell me there's no dicks in there, bro.
No, we do have people that just they don't know their own strength and their timing, and they're just more aggressive, and they got something to prove.
Some of
man. Them have chips on their shoulders, but you know they've been talked to and they've been given a leash of, hey, this is how you roll, and sometimes it takes people a lot longer to turn that off, and you want to correct that behavior. You don't want to kick someone out just because they're overly aggressive. You want to work with them, and so they can be a good training partners, and they can also grow themselves. And there's a time and place to pick up that aggressiveness. Sometimes to pick up that pace and to be that guy. And just like we have with a passive kid who's very passive and never been in a fight or whatever. You got to nurse them all. So that's what makes a good instructor. Right. If you can make that student, get his head out of his ass, right, and be a team player and someone you want to train with. I know who they are. Yeah. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way sometimes. Yeah. And I just don't roll with those folks anymore. And honestly, for me, I don't Willie, straight up, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'll tap. Right. I'll tap. And then if I know that someone is coming at me, I've been injured too many times, and if I know that I feel they're aggressive and they're not on the same frequency as far as training with me, bro, I'll cut you right there. Yeah. Nah, dog, I'm cool. Yeah. I got to go to work the next day. Yeah. I don't know what you got cracking, but
the people I hate rolling with the most are the fucking big fat roly-poly motherfuckers that are that know what they're doing, like purple belts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just fucking use their weight lay on you. Oh my God, dude, I fucking hate that shit.
You can't grab around them, they're so big.
Nah, dude.
He tried to come back to jiu-jitsu last year.
Yeah, so, because I played college ball, and then so I took a jiu-jitsu class in about 10 years, because I high school, college, and then I went back. And I went as a white belt, but then my first day, I still kind of knew what I was doing, so I was tapping out all the blue belts still. Nice. And then the next day, he gave me my blue belt, and then I went back for a year, and then
you should go back, bro. Stop being a fucking chavala, man.
I know. I need to go back. But
come on, dog. Be a man. That's it. Fuck, dude. I don't know, Fabian. For me, I would tell you, go back. I really wish I would have never stopped. But it is what it is.
Hey, you told me you were gonna go back.
I know, bro. But then
he does this every 3 months.
Do you put the gi on and look in the mirror? And
no. I went to a gym and I sat there and watched everybody roll, and I go, do I want to do this again? I go, fuck it.
Why don't you go back?
No, that's what I'm saying. I went, pinche panocha, bro. I'm a panocha, dude. Hey, this ain't about me. So, bro. Hey, let me ask you something, man. How did you get into refereeing? And is this something that you want? Where did that passion come from? Because you got to have a passion to do that. That's not something you like a hobby. It's a passion to be a referee. And where did that come from?
Actually, it came from training at New Breed. Okay. And at the time, New Breed was one of the biggest schools at the time. Yeah. There wasn't many jiu-jitsu schools at the time, you know? And a lot of fighters, a lot of wrestlers went to go and train there, Charlie. Little Charlie and all. And that's my best friend, who I love to death. Him and his family, which is Joe Camacho's cousin-in-law, but brother-in-law pretty much. They were real tight. And Joe used to train there, Joe Camacho. Yeah. And a bunch of fighters were trained there. And so I was training with them. Okay. And I came up with those guys, and I would go to the fights, and I'd go support them, and they would fight King of the Cage.
Hey, by the way, I was there when Joe won the 155. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
you were up in the ring. I got in the ring, bro.
You got in the ring
like a hot dog. I got jumped in the ring like a hot dog when they gave him his belt. I walked there like I was fucking part of the crew.
Dude, I was drinking Pisto in the back.
You were there? He fought this dude that used to wear the pink trunks or pink hair or something. I remember he used to wear pink. The dude.
Yes, I know.
He hit him with a left hook.
Yeah, no, he knocked him out.
He knocked him out.
Yeah, he knocked him out. Oh man, and that dude's a good dude too, man. Yeah. He has a school somewhere like in Iowa or Idaho or something like that. Yeah. But he's a super cool dude, man. Yeah. He ended up being a good coach actually. But yeah, so I trained with these dudes and I would go to the fights.
Right.
I walked out when Herb Dean fought.
Herb used to fight?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, bro.
Herb Dean was a fighter.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I saw some of his fights.
He won. He won.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, his name.
I grappled him. I rolled with him. Not I know he took it easy on me, but I rolled.
Herb takes it easy on a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
he's super strong, man.
Bro, I remember, rolling with them, and you can feel. You can feel someone fucking can manhandle you.
Herb's a sleeper, bro. He's good, man. Herb's been doing it for a long time. But Herb fought, Larry Landis fought, and Nini fought on that card, and a bunch of other dudes fought.
Meanie is your personal. Let them know what Meanie is, because they're like
Nini. It was his name was Joe Camacho.
All his friends from high school,
from East LA.
I meet people that know him, and I say Joe Camacho, and rather they say Nini. Right? Where's that? Where did that nickname for him come from?
I guess his mom gave him that name because he was the youngest one. He was like the
the Nino.
The Nino.
He comes from Nini.
Nini. He was a carita.
Oh,
he was Nini was a pretty
good looking. Fuck, I used to call him Zoolander.
Yeah,
because before his fights, you know what he would do before his fights, bro? I swear, we would always go get his haircut. Right? He was thinking about strategy. He was thinking about fights.
Bro,
he was like, I gotta get my haircut.
Bro. Whether Nini won, because we were all there, right?
Yeah.
Whether he won or lost.
Yeah.
Bro, Nini had like, dude, whether he won or lost, that fool always had so many chicks following him.
He was a rock star, dude.
He was a rock star, dude. He won, they celebrated. He lost, pobrecito. And then he had his moments. But that dude was just always in a good energy, man.
My dad always tells me about how many chicks Joe had, and I wish I was old enough to see it for myself.
He was a beast up, bro.
Dude.
He was a champ in the ring and a champ off the ring.
Man, that dude.
He had bro.
Bro, that guy was just out of control. But he was like that in high school, though.
Was he?
Yeah, in high school, he was like...
The reason why he was that guy? I fucking hated those guys in high school.
You know what? But the thing
I hated the guys that got all the
But
chicks.
you know what? Even in high school, he got into a lot of fights, right? We played football together. And we used to call him Nini 101 positions.
Why is that?
Because we needed to, hey, who's going to be receiver? I am coach. And there's Nini, like, throw me the ball. Yeah. And then he goes, hey, we need a quarterback. Got it, coach. Patty. And he was good at everything.
Really?
Offensive line, like he weighed like 140. Right here, coach. Bam. Nini would be in there doing chop blocks, and everything, every position. Kicker. I remember he put out tried out for kicker. Yeah, dude. And he was good at everything. And then a lot of dudes were haters because, other viejas liked him. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't his fault, man. He was just being cool with people. But and then like they would hate on him and they thought he was a punk. Because he thought, he was a little pretty one.
Yeah.
And that fool was always in karate. He was like infatuated with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And he was already like a Jedi master back in the day in training,
Yeah.
And man, good energy, man. I missed that dude, man. And it was just. But when I started.
Wait, one last thing on Joe, bro. Joe Camacho. One last thing, but don't forget where you're gonna start that story, bro. Do you know before his fights, we would go to a taco truck the night before.
Fucking King Taco, bro.
King Taco.
You go to King Taco, bro.
He bean burritos, big ass bean and carne asada.
Carne asada especial.
And
2 tacos.
Yeah, and then
he una horchata.
Yeah, and he would say, I go, Joe, you're fighting tomorrow. Isn't that not healthy? And he goes, bro, you know what's in the beans? It's protein.
Yeah.
He like break the fucking taco or burrito down and make you believe like it's the healthiest thing you could ever have before a fight.
They made him feel
right, bro.
Dude, he was always when I was working in East LA, he would always be out there.
His gym was right next to a King Taco.
Yeah.
So it was routine. Train, then King Taco.
You guys went to high school together, right?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
And, okay, what's the story? I hear that he got you kicked out of high school, bro?
Dude, I made it to the finish line, right?
So you graduated. You had the grades.
No. Well, Kind of, right?
What's kind of, bro?
You sound like my mom and dad. So it was the last day we were doing the cap and gown.
Yeah.
When you do the walk, right? So I made it that far. And then
you graduated.
I did not graduate. So I graduated 2 weeks later when I got kicked out, right? But like it was fucking Nini, Joe Camacho. So our principal was used to be a nun.
Really?
Yeah, Miss Tostado.
Miss Tostado?
Miss Tostado. Yeah, she used to be a nun.
From Garfield.
From Garfield High School. Yeah. She used to be a nun. And then Nini, he goes, he brought a double-headed Freddy, like to throw a tostado. And
What do you mean, a dildo? A dildo with two heads.
Yeah.
A double-headed snake.
A double-headed snake, a double-headed Freddy,
For
bro.
what, bro?
He goes, hey, he's all laughing because he's being a little fool, right? And we're like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like, hey, Biff. Well, my nickname in high school was Biff because I look like a white boy, right? So they call me Biff. So I was fucking whatever.
All right.
So it's just a name that stuck.
All right.
And
Not, bro, you know I'm about to call you Biff now, bro.
that's only in East LA.
All right.
Anyways,
Damn, can't even call you Biff.
You call me Biff.
Nini.
He's gonna tap you out.
Dude.
You call him.
And we're doing the cap and gown practice, right?
So everybody's there. So all the kids are there.
My parents don't even know the story.
Okay.
Dude, they don't even know, bro.
Cheeseman time. Cheeseman.
Dude, so Nini bring this double-headed dildo, right? And he's like, hey, you know how slick he was.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Camacho, so I'm over here so they can see me. But you're Beltran, so you're gonna be offset, so they won't see you because we were all lined up, right? So I was kind of more towards the flank side, so they can't see me. He was more in the middle. Okay. He goes, so I brought this because Tostado was a nun. She was a nun for she was a straight nun.
So it gives you the
So he goes, so of course I'm like, being the dumbass that I was, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. I'll take this mission.
Right.
I can do this. He's like, all right, cool. It's like, like when she's talking and she's up there and just chuck it. Like, because, like she was always strict with us, right? So I said, I got it, bro. 'Cause I used to play baseball too, right? So I said, I used to pitch. I go, I got this, dude. I could get a strike.
Right.
So I'm off to the side and she's up there, she's going through the motions of the cap and gown practice or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I look at it, I chuck it. Boom, right on the podium. Fucking got it, dude.
Everybody's dying.
We're all kids, right?
Yeah.
We're all laughing.
Like the podium, like right where she holds her hands.
Yeah.
You hit it right there.
I got a strike, bro.
Oh shit!
Yeah, dude. So
nice shot, bro.
I got it, dude. I take credit for that one, right? And then so she's like, of course we got the reaction we wanted to get, and then she's like all appalled and Dios mío and all this other stuff, right? So I hit the podium and then it's all over, right? And then I get called out.
Who ratted you out?
I got ratted out.
Motherfuckers,
and they're like, hey, it was Beltran. So he's the one that did it. And then they point at me, right? And then they gaffle me up. And I go, you didn't see me, so I denied it, right? I'm like, nah, that wasn't me, man. So, man, it was some other fool, like prove it, right? Right. And like, dude, I had too many witnesses that ratted me out, right?
Motherfuckers. Hey, you guys are fucked up, man.
Yeah, dude. So I didn't get to graduate on stage. And my mom and dad were supposed to come to the graduation.
So how did you get away with that? What'd you say? What'd you tell your parents?
So I got home, right? And then and I told my mom and dad, I go, hey, pues, my family's from Sinaloa and Durango, right? Especially my dad's very Sinaloan, like hardcore accent. I go, ¿sabes qué, pa? Pues, ¿sabes qué? I told mom, no, pues, no me voy a agradar ahorita on stage y todo, ¿verdad? Es que hubo un pedo en la escuela y un cagadero y me culparon por algo que no hice. Something I didn't do. Yeah, I do that. It wasn't me, And then,
wasn't me.
And then my dad goes, my mom started losing her mind. She goes,
what?
¿Qué? Que no te vas a agradar? Y quién sabe qué, right? I was more afraid of my mom than my dad. Well, my dad too, right? But but they both, were down. When my dad would whoop my ass, I'm still afraid of my dad.
Yeah.
And then my dad goes, yeah, Marilena, yeah. He goes, oye, en Sinaloa, oye, cabrón, que chingado, ¿te vas a graduar o no, cabrón? ¿Qué pedo?
Right.
And I'm like, no, pues sí me voy a graduar, pero I'll graduate, pero me voy a graduar, pero en 2 semanas tengo.
You have to wait.
I had to wait till all the teachers and principals were out, and the deans and everything, and I had to go back and get my diploma. And then I remember the dean and the principal was like, "We never liked you. We never liked you. We always knew you were a little shithead."
That's a good.
So yeah, dude. So it was Joe Camacho, bro. It was Nini.
Fucking Joe, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's wherever he's at, he's right cracking up, going, "Fuck, bro."
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I know what he's thinking right now. I don't know you were gonna do it,
dude. I told his mom that, and Uncle Ken and her husband and Charlie and Chris, like my best friends and everything else. So, yeah, man, that was my Nini story. My parents to this day don't know
that story. Well, hopefully one of our listeners will share this with your parents.
But yeah, no, dude, that dude was he was a big
influence, right?
Influence and a big blessing for me, man. Because if it wasn't for Joe Camacho, man, or Nini, I call him Nini, man. If it wasn't for Nini, man, I'm
a little jealous. I wish I could call him Nini.
Yeah,
you know what? I feel like only his close friends call him that, and I always thought I was there. But it wasn't. It was only a group of guys that can call him that.
He was. When I was a deputy sheriff, I was working the jails, and he would tell me, he goes, "Hey man, you gotta train, and I went, nah, dude, I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to roll because I used to box. I had a boxing background, and I'd be like, nah, man, if I can't knock you out on my feet, then I deserve this stupid ignorant shit, right? Like this stupid, real ignorant stuff that I don't do. I don't. That's not gonna happen. He's like, nah, man. There's this little skinny Brazilian dude. His name is Royce Gracie. He does magical stuff, and he's beating like monsters, and it's magic what he's doing. It's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and this dude's like people are falling asleep, and he's knocking them out with chokes and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, wow, and it was like, yeah, that's cool because I was watching it, right? I was like, I always tripped out. It was Royce Gracie, of course, and and he's like, dude, I just don't want you to get hurt. He had that heart. He cared. He did not want to see me
get hurt in jail.
Yeah, he didn't want me to get hurt in the jails or on the streets. And he goes, you got to train. And this way, you're not using your fist. You're using technique. And this is amazing for law enforcement. You got to do it. You got to do it. I'm going to pick you up at your pad. Nah, I'm not going to do it. Came by my house, man.
Really?
And he picked me up at my house. And he goes, and he picked me up. And he goes, I'm going to take you to this school, which was New Breed Academy. It was open mat. And that's when I went there and I got on the mat. And he goes, "All right, I want you to come at me." And I was a big kid. I was a big fucking guy, dude. Man. Yeah, but I was a youngster. And he goes, "Hey, come at me, and I want you to." I go, "Dude, relax, dude. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you, dude. I made that fatal error, bro." And man, I rolled with him, and he took me down, and he just rolled me up, man. Armbarred me.
Put you in a pretzel.
Put me in a. He armbarred me. He triangled me. He umaplated me. He got me in Americanas, and he just like destroyed. He just like just punked me, and I was defeated. I was like, fuck. And Nini was like, what, 140?
He was like 135, bro.
He was a small dude, man. He wasn't a big dude. I just stood back and I was like, he goes, that's jiu-jitsu. Right. And he goes, I want you to learn this. He goes, this is what I've been telling you about. He was so passionate about it, right? And he goes, see, everybody here, like, train with these guys. But Willie, straight up, fellas, man, I got my ass kicked by everybody in that gym.
Wow.
Everybody punked me. Right. And I was a big dude, and I was like so embarrassed that I ended up training, rolling. And I tell the stories, I've told the story several times, man.
What's that?
With Noah Tillis, a 12-year-old, a 7th
Noah,
grade.
we saw him fight.
Yeah,
we saw him fight. He got into the cage for a little bit.
Yeah, he fought, but Noah Tillis was 12 years old and in 7th grade, and that was the last person I rolled with. I got busted down to a 7th grader.
And Noah was a fucking bad dude, bro.
I couldn't
get technician.
I couldn't get him off me. And then I just sat on him.
And he's had little glasses, remember his glasses? Little nerdy glasses.
Little nerdy glasses, dude. A little tooth back in the day. And all I did was like just sit on that kid. Use man strength. And then I sat down and I looked at myself and I just looked at myself and I was like thinking to myself, I just got punked. And I go, I could have been out on the street and I could have got rolled up by any one of these dudes. And I could have got my gun taken from me or something horrific would have happened to me. Reality set in for me. And I had two options, bro. Yeah, two options at that time. And I said, one, I can walk away from this situation and no one is ever going to remember me. Hopefully nobody. I can just go home, take my ball and go home. Or I can actually sit here and do something about it and invest in myself and invest in myself with the sport, which was back then was NHP, not MMA. It was NHP, and then it became MMA, of course. But invest in jiu-jitsu and MMA and training, and the rest is history, man. I signed up and I never looked back. And Nini, rest in peace, man, was that person in my life that was there and was instrumental in my development. Of course, after that, it opened the world to. I got involved in officiating. I met you on the mat when we were both there. We were training together with Fabian and Willie. And they were munchkins. And it's been a blessing for me, and it's been an amazing journey. Of course,
and it never ends. And they say, which I know about martial arts, is in the reality, which there's being a black belt. And when you get your black belt, it's actually the beginning.
You start all over again. You start all over again. You're a white belt all over as a black belt.
Yeah.
And then obviously I got involved in officiating, training with these guys, and I would go to the shows, and I'd go to King of the Cage and out in Saboba, man, which I went there, and that my journey began there, and I saw that, and I went back to New Breed, and I told John Owana, I told him, hey man, I can do that. Right. I could see myself being an official, and then he goes, yeah, you can. Because Mike, that's all you. And he goes, and I said, excuse me. And I said, I can do that. And he goes, yeah, I know you can. He goes, you know what? Let me call my friend, Big John McCarthy. And I said,
Big John.
And I said, oh, you know Big John McCarthy? He goes, yeah. Let me give him a call. He's a good friend of mine. And he did it right there. He called him up. John picks up, goes, hey, I got one of my students, and he's a blue belt, and he trains, and, he's a cop like you, and, can you help him out? Give him some pointers. He wants to be a referee. And I think he'd be a good job at it. And then John goes, absolutely.
Wow.
He goes, give him my number. Okay. He goes, I'll look after him personally, and I'll help him out. And the rest is history, man. Right. Through John McCarthy, obviously, Larry Landless was a huge influence and a big part of it, because my first fight I did professionally was in Tijuana at the Baby Rock in Tijuana.
Wow.
And I went over there because John told me, he goes, you need to do some fights, get some experience. I don't care where it's at, what you do. Well, back then, they were smokers, right? They were illegal fights. Yeah. I didn't know they were illegal fights.
And in the casinos, too.
Well, of course at the casinos, but at gyms.
Yeah.
And I was training under Jay Martinez, who was a very big influence as well. He was my first NHB coach, MMA coach. Okay. And I was doing my no-gi stuff there and MMA. And at New Breed, I was doing jiu-jitsu. And we had smokers against like other schools. Back then it was normal. Like gyms competed against gyms, and he put me in there as a ref. So I had like 30 fights by myself.
Wow.
And I learned there, and Jay Martinez, got me involved until I did my first pro fight in Tijuana.
Nice.
And who was there with me in my corner?
Joe.
Nini was.
Nice.
And we were there. And
what did he say to you, bro? What was his advice? What was Joe's advice to you? Like, all right, don't get nervous. What did he say?
No, Joe was just there for me, and I'll remind me to tell you about my first UFC.
Okay.
About that story, about what was the advice I wanted, right? But this one here, I went to Tijuana, And Larry Landis told me, he goes, hey, you can ref some pro fights here with me. I got you.
Okay.
And he was my mentor, you know, and I was learning a lot through Larry Landis. And I did the fight, and I remember I had a fight with this dude he got gashed right here. I think his name was Monstro from Ensenada or Tijuana. Big Mexicano. He was a brawler. And that fool had a nasty gash. It was coming down into his eye, and it was like a mess. And I go, oh, shit. I got to call the doctor, right? So I call time, and I call the doctor and the ringside physician. And the ringside physician, like, God bless Mexico, man. This fool had... No, tenía un chingo de pisto, right? He had a bunch of beer, tequila.
He was all drunk? The doctor was all drunk?
He was drinking, watching the fights. and he had ring girls trying to hook up with them. You're like, hey, ¿qué onda? You know, like he's trying to hook up with the ring girls. And I go, hey, doc, you know, motherfucker, you want to come here and check this shit out? You know, like, look at this fool right here, right? And he goes, está bien, no pasa nada, está bien, no pasa nada. I was like, holy shit. I got paniqueado. Right?
Well, you know what, bro? They're used to seeing fucking gallos fucking kill each other,
bro,
dude.
Bro, no bullshit. Nothing, dude. That the doctor let it go. Clearly, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, like I just thought that this was the right thing to do because of the place of whatever. Make a long story short, bro, that dude went back out and he knocked the dude out.
Oh, with his big ass gash? It made you look good though.
Oh man, I was just like, that was my first professional. So the moral of the story is, man, if you can referee in Tijuana, you can referee anywhere, bro. So yeah, that was my first pro fight in Tijuana, and Nini was there with me, man, and every step of the way for any fight that I had, from the beginning to my bigger shows, he always was there. And him and Charlie Valencia,
yeah,
I always called them after every big show.
Oh man,
and to them, of course, Big John, right?
Yeah.
Who was my mentor, but I had to have validation from them. To me, it meant like you know, I came from the bottom with you fools.
Yeah.
All my brothers from you know
from East LA guys,
yeah,
bro.
Man, and I was like, and to me, their approval and them telling me the truth, whether I was good that night or I sucked or I had room for improvement or whatever, those were the dudes that I called, and they always had good words for me, even when I messed up. But they always told me the truth, and Big John was the same way too. And,
you know, bro. It's something that I want to add to what you just said, and I think what's wrong with our new society. That I grew up with in that era, bro, where you told people the truth, and it's funny that in today's age, Mike, telling someone the truth, whether it's going to hurt their feelings, makes you a bad person today, right? Yeah. Which our generation, we looked upon as this guy cares about me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's gonna hurt you. Yeah, you're not gonna like what you heard, what you're saying, because you know. But this new generation's nothing but ball lickers, bro. And that's why I have such a hard time dealing with people. With in my world is comedians, and they're all so full of shit. Oh. Like one guy sucks, and he goes, "Okay, no, you don't suck." And then all of a sudden you got like 6 guys that they all suck, and they all tell each other they're wonderful. I go, not one of you guys is gonna say anything. But our generation, you know, I remember.
And then I'd say artists are like extra sensitive too at the same time. Wouldn't you say?
No, bro, because when I came up with the black clubs in comedy, and I remember, I'll always remember D.L. Hughley. Just if a comedian did bad, he would do 10 minutes on that comedian, just killing them. And I remember I'd be backstage like, oh, fuck, this is fucking hilarious.
Is that where you got that from?
Yeah,
like, when
I did.
Sucks, you just
I got it from the black clubs.
Shit out of them?
I got it from the black clubs, bro. Yeah. That's where and it made me a better comic because I know I would walk out and then DL would be just fucking embarrassing me all the way out till I get out the door. I couldn't wait to get in the car. But what I'm getting at is, you know, the group of friends that you had around you, Mike, would tell you the truth. Yeah. And you didn't sit there and go like, you know what, fuck you guys, you're not my real friends. You know, no, they're your real friends. Tell you when you're fucking up, man.
And then being a referee, you know what I mean? You're dealing with people's like livelihoods, so like they gotta tell you the truth.
Yeah. So tell me about your first UFC. Okay. Before I get to your first UFC fight, bro, we had something like you and I have had some history, bro. Where like some weird things happen. I was about to go on stage.
Yes, you were.
And it's you, bro, right? And there are only certain people you answer before you go on stage, right? A lot of people you go, I'll talk to this fucker later. But it's you, right? And then you're like, and which I had no clue, bro. I had no clue. I think you had no clue. And my son was doing Willie was doing an amateur MMA fight.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, bro, you called me up. I'm about to go on stage, bro. I'm 5 minutes from hitting the stage. And you go, hey, bro, your son's gonna fight.
I didn't know that was your son at the time. I didn't recognize him because he's a man now. You know, he's a big kid. You know, like they're all big boys.
You remember when they were little jiu-jitsu?
They were little dudes, man. You know, and then I was told, hey, that's Willie's son. That's little Willie. And I was like, oh shit. And at that time, you know, and I don't really care who it is. I refereed, you know.
Right, you're fair, bro.
I don't care who
you know
it is.
that Joe Cortez? I'm tough, but I'm fair.
Yeah,
right?
fair but firm.
I'm fair, but
Fair, but I'm firm.
Fair but
I'm
firm.
fair, but I'm firm.
Fair but firm, man. Joe Cortez was a great referee.
I love him. I met him. Went to his house.
Solid
Really,
referee.
really good dude.
And so I had your boy, and I said, man, I just got to I got to give you a call. Hey, man, I got your son. So he goes, it don't matter. I'll win, lose, or draw. I'm gonna call it how I see it.
Right.
And in hindsight, you know, he did what he had to do, and he won, and he did a good job, you know, but I was like, so I had to talk some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta teach that fucker how to sprawl. Bro.
Because he did slam Willie. Can you show him Willie get slammed, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what you told me. You go, hey, bro, put some advice. Teach him how to sprawl, bro. It was in the first round, bro. Right off the beginning, Fabian.
From Los Angeles, California, Will the Thrill.
That was his nickname, the Thrill. Huh?
Will the Thrill.
Hey, he had just given himself that name like that day.
Hey, he even has a haircut like his dad with a pompadour, huh? Wrist straight 1987 at the Red Onion.
Look at Mike Beltran.
The brocha wasn't gray.
Willie Barcena in the black trunks. This is the University of Mixed Martial Arts.
That was a cool event. It was at the Novo downtown.
Oh,
It was a Nokia theater.
but this is where he slams.
Okay.
He slams Willie No right here.
Harris in his corner.
He is.
Booyah. Here's where Mike goes, oh no.
David Rojas going straight for that grappling.
Well, we expected it to be.
That's
You know what? That promotion was U of MMA, man. It was a really good
Barcena.
show, amateur show. They showcased a lot of amazing talent here in the Southern California area, man.
that kid was tough, bro. The kid that's on him, the wrestler.
Yeah,
Well,
it's an amateur show, so you know they're filling them, you know, they're filling it out.
They're wearing shin guards, right?
Oh, they're amateurs, bro. Yeah, but he's a baseball player, bro. He was doing this in the summer, in between college baseball. But hey, bro, I want to go back. When you get called up to UFC, bro, is that like getting called up to the big leagues in baseball? Was that a
Similar comparison. I mean, the athletic commission is the one that assigns you, and that means they have confidence in you that you're good enough.
Do they watch you? Do they watch like you
they watch
do other
everything.
fights? Or
Of course, I mean,
do
they're the
they
ones
evaluate you like that?
Yeah, they're the ones that put you in that position. So, refereeing my first UFC, you know, I had already done Strike Force and some Bellators and you know other shows, right? Of course, King of the Cage was big back in the day.
Yeah,
and you know, I got assigned to my first UFC, and
do you remember who your fighters were?
yeah, I had Nate Diaz and Josh Thompson.
What?
Oh, that's when he
Oh,
lost.
that's when he lost. You got head kicked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That was my fight, and man,
Was your heart pumping, bro?
dude,
Coming out of your chest?
It's baptism by baptism by fire, you know, and you know, and I don't care how much you think you're ready or whatever, but at that point there, you got, these are killers, these are studs.
So Nate Diaz was your first fight?
UFC.
UFC, yeah.
Yeah, UFC fight.
I'm gonna
I'm wearing a sweater. Right?
Yeah,
he's my favorite fighter.
Yeah, that's his favorite fighter. But let me tell you something. I interviewed the kid when I was doing radio in Sacramento when he was 16. Tough kid, him and his brother. I interviewed him on radio. And yeah, they have that surly attitude. But beneath that, once you get beneath that attitude and you can get through that layer and they can see that you ain't full of shit, they're cool vatos, bro. Right or wrong, bro.
They're intelligent.
Yeah.
They're very intelligent.
Yeah.
They're very smart, man. They're great guys, man. I love both of them, you know. And Nate, you know, is you know, throughout the years, you know, I'm knowing him for so many years now, and Josh Thompson, who I worked with in Bellator. He's a commentator, and he's actually on you know, Weighing In podcast with John McCarthy.
Okay.
So I've known Josh for a very long time, but that was my first big card, and I had that fight, and you know, I went out and you know, I'll never forget this because I was so nervous, man. I was nervous and afraid of messing up, and just all these crazy emotions you feel, man. This is what I wanted, but be careful what you want. You might just get it, you know. And so I was like, you know, and of course Joe Camacho and Charlie Valencia goes, man, you deserve to be there. This is your time. You know, just do what you do. You know, and I talked to them before that.
Wow.
You know, so that was like, they were so proud of me, you know. And I go, man, I was, you know, these are my boys supporting me, you know. And so I did the fight, and that was the when Nate got head kicked. And by Josh Thompson, and it came out of nowhere, man, and just, you know, Josh is a beast, man. He's just a stud, such an amazing fighter. Both of them are, you know, they were at their prime.
It was the first time Nate had gotten stopped, right?
He got finished, yeah, and then Nick threw in the towel just as I stopped the fight.
Oh wow!
And so, you know, I thought I did the best I could, you know, and of course Nate Diaz is one of those fighters, dude. They're like you're gonna have to kill those guys to get them out of there. That's just the Diaz brothers, you know, and Nate, and you know, Nate's a warrior, man, and he's that kind of an athlete and that kind of a fighter that, you know, he definitely brings it, and you have to you know, he's one of those dudes that just will never quit.
Right.
And a lot of fighters are like that, and that's what you have referees for. You got to protect them.
Let me ask you something, brother. I'm a big fan of you, bro. Not only because UFC and, you know, the accolades that you have, but you as a person. For the people that don't know, you are still a police officer.
Yeah, I'm a detective with the sheriff's department.
Sheriff, right? Sheriff.
Yeah.
I can't say right. Not police officer. It's sheriff.
Same thing. Yeah.
Sheriff, and have had an awesome career doing that.
Yeah.
And then you became a referee, and then you got your black belt, and I mean you and an actor, bro. And a really good actor, by the way. I watched you. You're a good actor, bro. I can watch somebody and go, he's lost in the role, which means to me, he's not acting anymore. He's lost in the role, which is hard for me to get to, bro.
For sure.
It's so I had Isai here last week, and I was trying to pick his brain, you know, because Isai, he's an amazing actor, bro. I'm sure you,
of course,
you love his. I mean, I hate to bring up La Bamba because he's done so many things. He worked on Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
I saw that podcast. He was great, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about acting, and for you, bro, this like, can you share with the people out there that have a goal where, let's say, bro, they're thinking about starting a pizza fucking joint, right? Mm-hmm. And they're going, oh, right, I got 80,000 and I'm gonna put it into this pizza joint or whatever. You see, anything. What is it for you, bro? But your mentality when you have a goal that you can go after it, and regardless of your, you know, of the challenges that you have, man, you persevere, man. So can you share a little bit of your wisdom with me, bro? About
I mean, look, not any different than what you've done and what you've accomplished. You know what I mean? I mean that as a brother. You know that. So I keep it real. But all I can say is how I was raised. I am blessed to be on this journey. And
can you go back a little bit on how you were raised? Can you tell me about? Just elaborate just a little bit.
But you know, I mean, it's for me. I grew up with the immigrant mentality, and both my parents are from Mexico. You know, my dad being from Culiacan, Sinaloa, and my mother being from Tepehuanes, Durango. I'm a first generation Mexican American. I was born here, but you know, I grew up. My upbringing was in Mexico. My summers and everything were there. You know, it was normal for us. You know, we'd go to Sinaloa, go to Durango, and in Tijuana is where a lot of it was at for me. You know, in Tijuana. So, seeing my dad work 3 jobs, and my dad never complained. My dad worked, took care of the family. My mother ran the household, but my mom also educated herself, went to Roosevelt High School to adult school to learn to speak English. And then she went to ELAC to get an education. And my mom, eventually became a real estate agent. So she failed the test 5 times.
Wow.
My mom did. And because she couldn't speak English. But that determination of what I saw with my mother was like, no, we don't quit, and we're going to keep working until you accomplish your goal. So I think with me, coupled with, you know, being a Marine, you don't quit, and that Marine mentality. But for me was very important, the upbringing of the immigrant Mexican mentality.
Yeah.
That no, chinga su madre, adelante, cabrón, yo le entro, no hay pedo, güey. And we just work, we work, and we work. And, you know, I had ADHD as a kid. You know, obviously I still do.
Bro, are we fucking twins?
Yeah,
we like the movie Twins, bro, with Danny DeVito.
So you understand, you know, like, you know, people thought you were stupid back in the day, and you know, you weren't. You got ADHD, you know, and there was no medication back then. So I had a lot of challenges as a kid, you know, growing up. But I think in my household, you know, growing up, we had a lot of love and tough love, and my parents supported me. And moving forward with anything that I did, I knew in my head that I would never fail. I believed in myself. Wow, I believed in myself, and I still believe in myself today. That there's nothing in this world I can't handle if I put my mind to something and I want it, I'm gonna do it.
How do you fight, bro, when the failures come, bro?
Failures.
Okay, let's say you're after a goal, and then a door closes. Whether it's referee, whether it's acting, whether it was the Marines, whether it was being a police officer, how do you, because this is where I see a lot of people do, bro. A failure comes up when you're after a goal, and they're like, fuck it, I couldn't do it. I tried, right? What is your mentality to when something comes at an obstacle like that comes?
Bully is very simple. How bad do you want it?
Okay.
How bad? If I want something, you never fail, bro. Those are lessons you learn.
Yeah.
Those are lessons.
I don't believe in failure either. I threw it out there to see how you would say it.
You fall on your face, you eat shit, you clean yourself off. Okay, cool. Let's take another run at this.
All right.
And you learn. And I've had, I don't call them failures, I call them setbacks where I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And
lessons
in life, man. Mm-hmm. And if it was so easy, everybody'd be doing it. But I grew up in a very supporting household where I saw my mom and dad never once give up on us.
Right.
Never give up on their dreams of living in this amazing country, and what they did, and what they accomplished, and you know, they can barely speak English. My parents bought a lot of property here and became landlords, and they did a good job with us. It was a lot of love and tough love, and they beat the shit out of us when we needed it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I just know that if I wanted something, I was gonna do it. If my mother can become a real estate agent and taking 5 real estate exams, and she didn't know how to speak English and passing it because she was determined, and my father, holding 3 jobs. He was a banquet waiter at the Bonaventure, was a banquet waiter on the weekends whenever he can find work. He was a construction worker, and what do you call it? My dad worked construction, was a banquet waiter, and he was a farmer. A butcher at Farmer John.
A Farmer John's. Bro, I used to drive by Farmer John's. You could always smell Farmer John's, bro, from fucking 2 miles away.
He would come home. My dad would come home smelling like
that street,
like blood from his flannel.
Yeah,
and being a butcher, but in my head and everything that I do.
huevos, bro.
You gotta, you want something in life, you go after it, bro. And that's it.
I'm gonna share a story with you, bro, that I probably don't share a lot, but because you and I have so many parallels. Story that stuck with me with my mom, bro. We had a relationship, bro, where it was a lot of negativity, bro. I was raised without a dad, but my mom was tough bitch, bro. Like your mom, she became an insurance agent. She cleaned houses first. But I remember being one thing that stuck in here, bro, about like why I was not gonna quit in comedy and I was gonna keep going was I remember being like 9 years old or 10 years old, and she used to clean houses in San Marino, and she would try to save money all the time, right? Because we're immigrants, so she didn't even want to spend money on gloves, like when you do dishes and stuff like that.
Sure.
When you clean around. So I remember one time, she came home, and she was going like that in the living room, and I was looking at her. I was like 9, 10 years old, and she opened up her hands, and when she busted them open, there was blood everywhere because they were dry. They were so dry and then that's when she said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start using gloves, like, because she was trying to save. She did buy property too, bro,
Yeah.
But I remember that always stuck with me, like, this bitch is fucking nuts.
It's tough.
Yeah, it stuck with me, like, and I meant nuts in the no, she's
my parents were a major influence in my life, and no matter what I did or whatever, they always supported me in what I wanted to do. And all my siblings, I'm the only one that didn't go to college. My sister, she's a school teacher at Garfield High School.
No way, bro. Shit. Yeah. Someone's going to throw a double hit of dildo at her, right? The universe has a way of fucking coming back at you, bro. And then your ass, because so many cops, you're going to go, find that piece of shit. No. We're going to fucking arrest him.
I would feel sorry for the person but my sister will probably laugh. Because she's a fool, dude. She's a payasa. So Lupe has got an amazing spirit.
That's awesome, though.
She's a teacher there. She went to Cal State Long Beach. My younger sister went to Berkeley and got her master's.
Nice.
And she works also for the LA Unified School District. She's a teacher, but
they give back.
Yeah, she's up there too in the upper echelon of the district. And my little brother went to UCLA.
Holy shit,
and
bro!
He's a real estate agent. Roger Beltran, the champion of real estate.
Oh yeah, I saw your little promo you doing.
Yeah, I did my promo. But they all went to school, and I was a black sheep.
Bro.
And all of us turned out well, and that's a testimony to all of us.
Hey, Mike,
all of us grew up with that immigrant mentality of working.
You have three, so acting, referee, and police officer. Those are three high intensity, jobs. how do you find the
and
time?
And an ex-Marine.
But like currently, how do you find the time to like, make time for all those things?
Yeah,
and be really
ADD. It's real easy.
And be
he
really
just calls
good
them the different personalities.
He has a clone.
You know what? Well, with my job, I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I'm good. I do the fights on the weekends, and if I want to stay longer, now that I'm older, I take vacation days, and like when I went to Australia, never been there. Man,
What city did you go?
Sydney.
I went to Sydney
It
too.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, the Aussies are the best.
Did you go to the red light district?
You have a red light district there?
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't make it there, bro. But I'm looking out for the next show. No.
Hey, bro, listen, man. I want to get into this, man.
Oh, he's gonna ask my question right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mijo. Go ahead.
So, I mean, with that being said, if you got a passion for something and something you want to do, never be afraid, man. Just do it and make time for it.
Yeah, get back into jiu-jitsu, pussy.
But you know what? And even with anything you got going on and stuff like that, no matter how busy I am, and we're all busy in life, man. We're all busy. But like for example, tonight, I wouldn't tell your father no.
Bro, you're good. I'm honored, bro. I'm honored because I know how many people want you to do podcasts, and I'm very blessed, bro, to have your friendship.
I would not tell your father no, because number one, I respect him. I know he raised you guys right. He did a good job with you guys, and I've been following him since when he was like one of the first breakthrough Chicanos, Mexican comics. There was several, but like that I knew personally, and to us, Willie Barcena was a name. We're like, oh fuck, that's cool, that's Willie. And then you see him perform, and he was a payaso and made everybody laugh, and he's going strong, and he's stood the test of time, and we kept in contact. I trained with your dad on the mat. we trained jiu-jitsu.
We were both fucking awkward.
We trained together, and that was
doing?
And then since then we hit it off when I rolled with your dad, and then I met you guys. You guys were little chamacos.
Mocosos, they're little mocosos.
And here we are today. That I don't care. We're all busy in life, man. You just have to make time for the people you love and respect, and that goes with your passions and with your goals. If you want something, you do it, and that's pretty much it, man. That's just how it is.
No, it's amazing.
I want to show his acting chops. I want people to see when you were on the Mayans, bro. And we have an acquaintance. A friend that we both share is a mutual friend is Emilio Rivera. He's an old school homie, bro.
Dude, that's a cholo right there, bro.
Hey, Emilio don't fuck around, bro.
Emilio don't play, bro. That's an OG right there.
Right? That's what
he gives all the respect in the world to that OG right there. And his soul, man.
He's a good person, bro.
God, man, he's got the kindest soul in the world. Him and his wife are amazing, man.
No, they're good people.
And his kid's amazing, man. And he's, and he's just, he got me. He got you in.
Yeah, he got you in.
He got me
so
in,
I want to see, before I leave, man, I got to see you in action, bro. Can we roll that, bro?
Bishop wants what we all want now. Peace.
And everything that's gone down,
we forgive each other's trespasses and move forward.
It's fucking tense, bro.
It was.
Holy shit.
Good. I'll let Bishop know.
you forgetting something?
Fuck your trespasses and fuck your king.
Oh shit!
Damn.
That was dark.
Damn.
Holy shit, bro. That was
that
dark.
hurt.
Shit.
Highway. Good job. Hey, bro. Listen, man. For those of you who think acting is easy, and I've done some things in acting, and to me, it's been probably one of my biggest hurdles is acting, bro. You're a badass, bro. I'll give you your props, man.
Bro.
And thank you, bro. That being said, man, thank you for being here, bro. You know, we've been friends for a long fucking time, and just thank you, brother. And shit, amazing show, man. Thank you. And Fabian?
Yeah, no, this weekend you're gonna be in
Reno.
Merced.
Oh, Merced.
Oh, goddamn. No, Merced. Well, Saturday. Where? Don't give the wrong fucking. Last time you gave the wrong city, bro.
I know. We said Reno. No, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Modesto.
I'm in Modesto. See, he's gonna make it give the wrong city, bro.
Modesto. 2 shows. No, 1 show. 8 p.m.
Ay, que la verga. All right, Modesto. Love you guys, man. I'm gonna see you this weekend. All right,
Mike. If you want to plug anything that you got going on, you want people to know.
He's got an amazing Instagram, bro. He's got some fans, bro.
Ah, man, you know what, man? I'm just
follow him, guys.
I just
he keeps it real.
all I gotta say is I'm thankful for what I have. I'm grateful. We're all blessed on this journey in life, bro, and that's really what it is, man. And there's nothing wrong with like my takeaway would be just be yourself.
All right.
Be yourself, man. Never forget where you came from. Never forget who you are, and your heritage.
All right.
Just don't forget that,
beautiful.
bro. And that's it, man. Just be you, and that's it, man.
Thank you, my brother. Just love having you here, my brother. Zapata, aren't you doing big things, bro? You're doing a big show.
This weekend I'll be headlining the Haha on Saturday, March 22nd.
1 show or 2 shows?
1 show, only 1 show.
1 show. What time?
8 o'clock, 7:30,
7:38.
You know,
7:38.
7:30, 8 o'clock this Saturday night. Come on out.
I heard new material, bro. I heard you got a lot of, I heard you got surprises.
I got some surprises, dog. Let's go.
All right, guys. Thank you guys tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you guys,
bro.
Peace.
Mad love.
Gracias.